My name is Tiina Paunio, and I was one of the chief editors for the sleep medicine textbook, the second edition.
My name is Walter McNicholas. I'm one of the chief editors of the revised textbook. I'm a Newman professor at University College Dublin in Ireland, and I'm also a consultant in respiratory and sleep medicine at the St. Vincent's University Hospital Group in Dublin.
I am Philippe Peigneux. I am a former member of the board. I've been secretary of the ESRS for 4 years, then president.
My name is Claudio Bassetti. I am chair of neurology at the University Hospital in Bern, Switzerland. I served as president of the European Sleep Research Society from 2008 till 2012, and I'm currently the president of the European Academy of Neurology.
When I was president was actually the development of the first edition of the textbook of sleep medicine, which was an initiative of the past president, Claudio Bassetti, but we really set it up in this first edition during my presidency. And then we always had in mind that, of course, such kind of book must be actualized. And so, because there are some basic knowledge that does not change a lot, but other needs to be changed. And of course, we identified also some missing point in the books or the area in which there was an evolution. So that was really the rationale to create this second book. Initially, I was just present as a consultant editor, given my experience in the editing on the first one, and then I was asked to join by the team to be chief editor. So really for me, the interest of this upgraded book is that, of course, it contains all the necessary information, what we believe should be basic knowledge for people who call themselves somnologists, specialists in sleep and mostly in sleep medicine. It's a bit more oriented in sleep medicine, that experimental approach, even if we insist on with the basic part. And here we have expanded some sections, for instance, on pediatric, on aging, that was not that much represented, and also because it fits with an evolution of what people are doing, how they see their field. Sleep is a very translational field, meaning you can put sleep nearly everywhere, after all. But sleep can be in relation with development, with mental health, with a pathological disorder, with neurological condition, with a lot of things. So that's what's really the interest of this book.
You know, the idea of creating a European textbook on sleep medicine was generated during my presidency. And during this presidency, we actually took two important decisions, among others. One was to start European sleep medicine examination. And second, to create a textbook which actually represents the base for the examination. Actually, the students can learn from the book to prepare themselves. So obviously, the preparation of the first edition was fundamentally different from the preparation of the second one, just because first we had to, decide how to produce the first book. So it was actually an adventure at that time. I mean, we did have a catalog of knowledge and skills, which was also kind of giving us a little bit the general structure of the book. But it was a little bit, I should not say try and error, but definitely something completely new for most of us in terms of having a European sleep textbook. And now 7 years later, the things are different. I mean, we have been working very nicely with the different presidents of the society. So Professor Philippe Peigneux and Professor Walter McNicholas joined me as the next ESRS presidents, and also Tiina Paunio was very important for the preparation of the second textbook. obviously there was a need just because science and medicine evolve, and in 7 years, 8 years, the field has evolved dramatically, and also the catalog of knowledge and skills had to be updated. But the experience with the second textbook was, the second edition of the textbook was obviously somehow easier, so the volume of the entire book has increased. So we did maybe know better how to do, but there was still a lot to be done just because the volume of the contribution increased.
The first edition of the textbook was primarily directed at those who practiced sleep medicine or were studying sleep medicine as a discipline that would be their main area of interest. The second edition represents a major expansion compared to the first edition, and the expansion largely consists of chapters that are of interest to practitioners in other specialties who wish to have knowledge of sleep medicine as it relates to their own specialty. So the additional new target audience for this book would be specialists practicing in a broad range of disciplines, from respiratory to cardiology, neurology, etc., who would have an interest in understanding sleep disordered aspects relating to their own area of specialty.
The book comes also with an electronic version, and this electronic version, the aim is also to provide update. And if you have the book, it means you have a code that gives you access to the electronic version, but also that you will have, of course, access to the upgrade of.
The book is to be read cover to cover because it is a comprehensive textbook, and all areas within the book should be of interest to the target readership. However, certain disciplines will be more focused on their own special area of interest. The early chapters of the book are general and should be read by everybody, but equally those who are practicing in other disciplines may wish to focus more as they get through the book on chapters that relate to their own specialty interest. This textbook can be used both as a textbook in itself, but also as a reference work. So somebody who has a broad interest in sleep will find this textbook fully comprehensive and covering all areas of interest to somebody who's practicing sleep medicine. And equally, somebody who is practicing in another specialty, but their practice encompasses sleep-related aspects, will find this textbook the ideal reference book for their interest.
So what's new in this textbook is that we have brought into totally new chapters or disciplines of medicine, like pulmonology or geriatrics or neurology or psychiatry or pediatrics. And I think this is very important, since sleep medicine is about to spread from the core key interest of few devoted scientists towards all different disciplines in medicine and in clinical practice. What we also achieved here was that we made an index that should facilitate finding relevant parts of the textbook if you are interested in relevant topics.
I believe, and I think the editors believe, that the future of sleep medicine should not only be within the field of sleep medicine, which we obviously push as president and past president of the Sleep Society in Europe, of the ESRS, but we think that because of the frequency of sleep disorders, any doctor is concerned by sleep medicine, the family physician, the pulmonologist, the neurologist, and all the specialists that are listed also as contribute to geriatricians in the book. So I think it's definitely important to involve everybody that is involved in health and medicine, and health professionals are included in the field of sleep, and not just think that only the sleep specialist should take care of the huge amount of patients.
Probably we are a bit to the upper limit of what a textbook should be in terms of what you must study to present an exam. But what I would say, it remains an examination in sleep medicine. So of course we expect people to have a knowledge of all the basic phenomena, but what we expect them more, of course, is to have this ability to distinguish, to approach the pathological side, and to provide appropriate treatment. We know that all people will not work in the same domain. If you are a specialist on insomnia and doing cognitive behavioral therapy, it's not the same as if you are a neurologist specialized in the care of narcolepsy patients. But still, people should have a minimal knowledge of all these domains, because one of the problems with sleep is that many people tend to approach sleep from a very specific and narrow area. And the problem is that they may miss something. If you are studying only sleep for a respiratory point of view, it's highly interesting, it's highly developing, but you cannot neglect the fact that at the same time you can have a restless syndrome, that you can have a lot of other problems, or you can have associated psychological problems, for instance.
Sleep comes from the brain. Sleep is generated in the brain, and we know that one of the main reasons for which we sleep is actually, to rest, to restore our brain, and also to promote different brain functions. We understand that without good sleep, our brain is not functioning well. Now, so in that sense, it was from the beginning obviously clear that the neuroscience, to some extent also neurology, are part of the book. What has changed, and now I speak as president of the European Academy of Neurology, is the knowledge about the bidirectional relationship between sleep and brain functions and sleep disorders and neurological disorders. And it was, I think, timely to schedule and to foresee chapters on different fields of medicine, including neurology. And I was very pleased that I was given the responsibility of coordinating this contribution, which actually includes also some general thoughts about this relationship, which is a very important one, because I would say every third, every fourth patient with a neurological problem will have a sleep or wake problem. So it has become now obvious that sleep is important, not only for specialists in sleep medicine, not only for pulmonologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, but also for neurologists.
This edition of the book, we were 4 chief editors, but the main responsible for really making things running and pushing and everything done was Tina Pugno. So it's really, she must be really commended for that. Of course, as the other editors, but she was a real driving force.
And I must tell you that it was an exciting and highly interesting experience to be a chief editor in a textbook like this. Many of our writers are active clinicians and they had many obligations due to the COVID. But nevertheless, it succeeded actually quite well. We have more than 1,000 pages. All is written either by new based on the old version or totally new. What I think was most wonderful, however, was that we were able to collaborate with such many great sleep scientists throughout the world, mainly from Europe, but throughout the world. And in that sense, we could brought one new big part or big book for the sleep medicine.